Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Wired for Logic. It's our podcast where we explore business, technology, and AI. I have my guest today, Amber Myers, is the owner of Seattle Massage, Sauna, and Float. So I'll let her kind of share a little bit about her business growth over the last 10, 15 years and how she's kind of expanded and added additional services. So I'll let you take it away.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I didn't want to get too creative with the name because float is not a keyword option for search
Okay.
for SEO. I was like, well, let's make the keyword the name. So yeah, it started out as just a solo practitioner in the end of 2011, just subletting out of the back of a yoga studio, and then I got my own room after my daughter was born, my own space, because I needed just more flexibility, and the sublet was totally full, so there wasn't flexibility with the timing. And then, but the full wellness clinic was always a part of the plan. It just took a little longer than I had originally wanted. So February 2020, we finally got the space renovated. We got the lease in mid 2019, had to do a total remodel, a total build out with the float room, the infrared sauna, massage rooms. And it finally all came together for a grand opening in February 2020, like right before Valentine's Day. And then 3 weeks later, I was sent a letter from the governor requesting we close.
Oh, man.
It wasn't a force. It didn't say we had to. I had my lawyer read it. It did not say we had to. It said we request you cancel non-urgent massages. And then it listed what defined urgent. And it was like severe car crash, somebody, chronic pain, then they're not receptive to pain medication. There was a couple of things. So I had, I don't know, 2 or 3 clients that fell into that category that I continued to see kind of secretively,
Yeah.
but I mean, because I was allowed to be open. We officially closed, but I continued to see 2 or 3 people a week. So we reopened in July of 2020, and then it was just sort of up and down because there'd be a new wave and everyone would cancel. So that was a pretty
Oh my God.
hectic first year of the clinic.
Yeah, I can't imagine going through that, being, putting all that, the blood, sweat, and tears and opening up your own place. And you're like, oh, this is great. Right before Valentine's Day, you're just getting started, you're
Right.
off to the races, and everything comes to a screeching halt. I mean, what was going through your head during that time? That had to be very, very difficult.
I can't even describe. It was just like a car crash, really, because the construction took 6 months longer than it was supposed to. There was a lot of issues with the building, with the code, with the contract. I mean, I don't know how many stories you want, but there is a lot of stories. Our contractor ended up getting arrested. And
Yikes.
so we had to just sort of figure out how to finish the project on our own. Then the timelines for the electrician and the plumbing and all of that got all out of whack. And then the floor, I mean, it was just everything. So it was already 6 months behind schedule. I was already 4 times over budget. And then we're like, okay, we'll have this. We're finally open. It'll all come together. And we had a really successful grand opening party. A lot of people signed up. The whole first month was booked out. And then, yeah,
Yikes.
I'm glad I had the space because I could just come here and use the float and the sauna and cry, but sit in my bathrobe with my sister drinking wine.
That had to have been really traumatic. When you started describing, you said it was, over budget and taking six months longer. I thought you were talking about some kind of government project, but then I realized you were just referring to your build out.
Yeah.
My God, I can't even imagine, because you had to have been really excited about, this is your own thing. You're creating this. This is something that you designed and envisioned and now built, and it's finally open. And then it just running into a brick wall. It's all of a sudden pump the brakes on all this growth and opportunity.
Yeah, it was,
Wow.
I know, I tried to block some of that out. I don't think I'm over it yet.
I don't blame you. I think a lot of us remember how difficult COVID was. We don't often talk about it as much anymore because now we're 5 years, post COVID or whatever, but it's traumatic for a lot of people. I think, like you said, some people still haven't quite gotten over it or past all the emotions that were associated with it. It's
Yeah,
not great. There were a lot of our clients that were going through very difficult times then,
right.
being told we deal with a franchise that's a massage studio, and they were like same kind of thing like you. They were told to stop all non-essential services, which is pretty much everything.
Hmm.
And how do you continue to pay rent if all of a sudden your
Right.
income goes from whatever you were making per month to practically zero? Like it's not
It
sustainable.
it was completely zero because the people I saw were car insurance. So those are very delayed payments sometimes.
Yep. Yep. That's man.
So yeah,
Well, good
that was a
Lord.
tough. I mean, I'm really lucky. I don't know. I don't know if I have good luck or bad luck. I just have weird luck. But I know this woman who she recently passed, but she's extremely wealthy and she just gave me the money.
That's fantastic.
Like a
I'd say
lot
that's good
too.
luck.
It was really, I mean, I fell over, literally fell over crying because it was on my birthday too. And I only barely know her. She knows my husband. He's a musician, plays for her. He played for her like events, and she hosts, events sort of things, charities, and just like, informal gatherings of her friends. And he's a classical musician, so that's how they knew one another. And he just was telling her like, yeah, all this stuff, and she just sent me a check. So I don't
Amazing. I
know.
mean,
Yeah. And then
God bless her.
my family helped out also, but without those two resources, I don't honestly know what would have happened.
Yeah. We know a lot of clients that were going through very difficult times, and some didn't make it. But fortunately, a lot of them were able to find, like, some of the massage places worked around it by having outdoor, like they would set up like in the parking lot and give, outdoor massages because it wasn't in a closed confined area. And so that, made all the difference.
Right.
I
Yeah, that
don't know
doesn't
if
work
it
out
did
in
or didn't,
Seattle.
but
That doesn't work out in Seattle. People don't like wet, cold massages.
yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. Well, so once you got past COVID
Mhm.
and things were kind of starting to get back to normal, I guess fast forward to like maybe 2021, how did you get business to pick back up again? What did that look like?
It picked up right away. I've never had a problem getting business. I have a lot of experience. I was in graphic design, and then I was in a sales job for a few years. And so just the combination of those two experiences, I've always been really good at the marketing. The networking has always come natural. And so, yeah, we've always had a wait list. Our problem has never been getting the clients. It's always been getting enough therapists to fill the need. So that is still the struggle, which is why I just built a third room, which I'm in right now,
Okay.
so I'm still trying to staff this third room.
Well, I mean, I don't know which is the more difficult problem to have, if that's the not enough therapists or not enough clients. I mean, the flip side of that is you have extra therapists that either you're paying or they're not getting paid, and then no clients to, with some of our other clients that we support, the way they have their setup. And I don't know how it is typically with massage, but they don't get paid unless they're actively giving a massage. So if somebody pulls a no show, like if I book a 2 hour
Hmm.
and then I just don't show up, I get charged a cancellation fee, but that goes to the location, not to the therapist. The therapist
Hmm.
doesn't get any of that.
Weird. I don't know why that would be. That doesn't seem right.
Do
Yeah, I
you
think.
pay your people like every
Yeah,
hour that they're there 8 to 5 or
yeah,
whatever they get paid? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so that
So
makes sense to me. I feel like if I'm at work, I need to be getting compensated whether I'm working or not. It's not my fault that you're not filling my schedule.
right, right. No,
I'm not the
totally.
one that runs the place. You're in charge of getting people here,
Right.
then I just do the massages.
Yeah, if they were independent contractors, then the other way would make more sense. But
Right.
they're not. That's the benefit of being an employee is that you show up at your shift and then you get paid. So yeah, so the way we do things is a lot different than I think a lot of places. And I think that being a massage therapist really helps me kind of understand where they're coming from. So from the minute they get here to the minute they leave, they have a base rate. And it's not that much, to be perfectly honest. And it's really just to keep them here. Um, it is going to be going up significantly just because of Seattle's laws. And so we're just going to, but they know how to do basic things around here, like fold the laundry and cleaning, things like that. As long as they're participating, then they still get that base. But if somebody no-shows, we charge and they get paid as if it were the appointment, as long as they stay. But they
Okay.
always have the option, if they don't have an appointment, they always have the option of just clocking out and going and do something, staying and helping the front desk and clinic staff maintain things. So, because then they have a separate rate so they have the base rate and then they have the separate rate for massage hours. So we do things a little differently. It's kind of difficult during interviews to get people to understand. I have a chart because there's not really any place that does it exactly the same. So it's never looking at apples to apples. And then this neighborhood's pretty generous, so they get really good tips. So all three channels are about equal.
Okay.
So it's like the
Nice.
3 equal parts of the check is like the hours, the massage, and the tips.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. It's funny you have to explain it a couple different times to them. I mean, it seems pretty reasonable and fairly clear cut. I mean, if you're doing a massage, you're going to get a different rate than if you're just helping out around. And that's good to have them to do those other things, because you still have to do laundry. You still have to answer the phone. You still have to, maybe check people in and out as they're, coming and going from their massage. So that's good to have that additional help during those periods of time, for sure.
We have people that's their actual job. So, and most of our therapists are pretty busy. They don't usually have gaps in their schedule. I mean, there's seasons. It can be pretty seasonal. There's not going to be gaps until probably the end of January. We probably won't have another opening. We probably will be totally full between now and the end of January. And I'm hoping to get 2 more therapists. So, fall
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Fall is, they always say, like, feast or famine in this industry, and fall's the feast. So.
Well, good. We'll capitalize on that for sure. I remember when my wife and I first started dating, I took her with me to go do a couples massage, and we get done with the massage and we're getting dressed again, and I was like, "Hey, how'd you like the massage?" And she's like, "Oh, it was horrible." It's like, "Horrible? What was so bad about the massage?" And she's like, "You and Sarah wouldn't shut up. You guys just kept talking the whole time like a bunch of little chatty Cathys over there." And
Right.
I was like, "Well, I've known her for like, I don't know, 12, 14 years. She's been my therapist that long. So we have a lot to talk about. How are the kids? How is Jeremy doing? You wouldn't believe what so-and-so did the other day." And it just kind of goes on and on and on. And she's like, "I just wanted peace and quiet so I could sleep."
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. We don't have enough space for couples massage, but I just personally don't want anything to do with it. I was talking to my friend and I said, I don't want to be in your date. Leave me out of it. They always show those videos of like hotels or resorts, and people are like holding hands and gazing in each other's eyes while they're each getting a massage. And I'm like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in that room.
Holding hands and gazing into each other's
It's always
eyes.
like on a resort commercial or something, And I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of that. I'm not your date.
That's not how that works.
That's funny. And also everybody has their different style. I think my style is more sports massage, and so it is peppier, and I have a long-term relationship with my clients. Some of them have come into me for 14 years. There is a lot more talking than some of the other therapists that have a different style. Yeah,
for sure. I like him to really get in there, elbows, knuckles, fists, everything, and really, really work out those knots. I've got set, as you can see, I'm doing right now. I should be standing more throughout the day, but I stood quite a bit today. So I'm trying to take a little bit of a rest now, kind of sit down. But yeah, my lower back is always all jacked up. So kind of go in there and get them to work a little extra on that.
Right.
She's transitioning out to be a teacher, and so I'm not looking forward to the day when she says, "Hey, I got that teaching position. I'm not going to be massaging anymore." But I know there's different styles of massage, and I tried out, there was a Thai massage place where they walk on your back, and I don't know, you guys do that there or no?
No, I'm over 5'9", and I'm not going to tell you my weight, but you do not want me to walk on your back.
Yeah.
I'm much too large for that.
They, they've got the little bars or whatever that they hold on to, but it's very interesting. They kind of intermingle that and the stretching. So they do some stretching during the session too, which is really cool. It's all different styles and stuff like that, but it's pretty neat. I like how you guys have the, do you say it's sauna? Yeah, sauna. And you also do the salt float.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Yeah, it's a large tank tub type situation. And it has 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt in it. The water is around 96 degrees. And the room is really heavily insulated so that it's almost completely soundproof. If you wear not the headphones, the earplugs, it's pretty much soundproof. And then you can have the ambient lighting on in the float tank, or if you turn that off, then the room is totally dark. And if you turn the like ambient sound or waves off, then it's totally silent. And that's what they call the sensory deprivation experience.
Yep.
So you hear of like athletes doing that a lot of times, because whenever your brain is just like there's no sensory stimulation, then you can just be more deeply relaxed, but also um it can kind of just allow for more things to heal quicker and recover faster because there is less energy being spent elsewhere.
Right. No, that makes sense. So what kind of lengths of time do you recommend people to relax in the salt float?
Most people do an hour. The place I
Okay.
floated my first time down in Portland requires everybody to float for 90 minutes on their first time. And that is really hard for me to do. I don't typically do anything for 90 minutes. And I was like, I'm not going to stay the whole time. I will be out of here in 45 minutes. And he's like, okay, we'll see. And I did stick it out at first, like the first 20 minutes. I'm like, seriously, I'm not going to be able to sit here for 90 minutes. And then I got like, started to kind of doze off, that in and out of sleep thing. And then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, like the muscles underneath my shoulder blades start to kind of twitch. And then it was like this full body exhale. And it was like areas, I mean, I've had a lot of massage, probably thousands of them just going through massage school. And the muscles deep under the shoulder blades that really can't be reached just suddenly like let go. And that's when it made me realize that there are some not like some adhesions, some tightness that is neuromuscular, which is like your brain is not letting your muscles let go.
Right.
So just being able to turn off that and have your whole body feel completely supported, being weightless like that, your spine falls into perfect alignment. And then it's like, oh, now I'm actually relaxed. Like you think laying on your bed is the most relaxed you can be. But now after floating, I can feel like, oh, I'm actually tensing at my hips and tensing at my core and tensing at my shoulders just to stay like laying down. I feel tension because I've had total relaxation where everything was supported and I didn't actually have to use anything,
Right. That's
if that makes
interesting.
sense. Have you ever
Yeah.
floated?
I have once or twice. I was trying to relax, but I think it was either I kept thinking I was gonna, like they had a little ring that you put around your head,
Right,
and I was already floating, but it's just you're in water, so your body's like, don't fall asleep when you're in water. It's kind of like fighting
right,
the
right.
relaxation. So that's, man, 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. Like what do you get? Like 55-gallon drums of it or something to dump in there? How does that work?
You can get pallets of 50-pound bags. But
Okay.
then my building is really weird about me putting pallets in the dumpster. And I don't feel like hauling them to the dump. So I just drive over to the store and just put as many that'll fit in my car nowadays, because then I don't have to pay for the shipping and then have to deal with what to do with the pallet afterward. But yeah, I usually have at least 5 or 6 extra 50-pound bags on hand, and I add a new one every 2 weeks or so. But it takes about, I mean, I guess you can do the math. It's 1,000 pounds.
So that's a lot of, so we have a water softener at the house, and
Hmm.
those bags are like 50 something pounds. Maybe they are 55 pounds. I don't know. But just lugging those bags from the car over to the softener is an effort. And then when you got to lift them up to then
Right, right.
open them and then dump them in the reservoir, that's an effort. So I can't imagine, like, every time you guys have to change that water out, dumping another 1,000 pounds, however many bags that is, into the.
We don't change the water. We've only changed it like once or twice, I think, because it's $600 worth of salt
Yeah,
to fill
that's
it.
a lot.
Yeah. So if you have hair dye and you ruin my water and you turn the water green or brown or whatever, you're paying me $600 because I'm not, I'm not. So yeah, I'm not serious. I mean, I'm serious. I'm not messing
Yeah.
around with that. They have to
Have
sign
you
a
had
waiver.
anybody ruin the water like that?
Not permanently, but we have had people that with like pink hair that swore it wasn't going to streak or whatever. And then of course it did, or they're not supposed to wear anything in there, but they are very modest. And even though they're all alone in a dark locked room, still felt the need to wear something in there. And the color of their bathing suit leached into the color of the tank. And I was able to what I was able to do is pump it into one of those huge plastic trash barrels, essentially, pump like half the water into that so that the water line was low enough that then I could use a magic eraser and
Oh
some
my
baking
gosh.
soda. Because I mean,
Yeah.
baking soda is fine because that just affects the pH, and it was fine. But we have a UV purifier where there's 2 HEPA filters, and then a UV purifier and an ozonator, and it cycles nonstop. But if we have a full day back to back, there's at least 20 minutes in between each person, 20 to 25 minutes in between each person, which means that it's cycled 5 times in between each person, which is more than city municipal water.
Oh, wow.
And they don't even have ozonators, so it's
Yeah, that
clean.
I'm yeah,
And there's
I
peroxide
really
in it.
like Ozone. It works great. That's what we use whenever we go, like, wash our vegetables. I have a little Ozone machine, and it has a little tube. It's got, like, a little stone, a porous stone at the end, and you set it in the water, and you can see it kinda bubbling, and it's releasing the ozone and
Cool.
ozonating the water and cleaning the fruit and/or vegetables at the same time. So pretty yeah, so I'm a big believer in ozone. It's
Do
like
you have
nature.
do you have a meter, an ozone meter, like, to read the amount of ozone?
I don't. It's
Okay.
just a basic little
Okay.
unit, so nothing super fancy about it, but it has, like, you can put it on regular mode where it releases it into the air, which is
Right.
much more intense. You can
Right.
definitely smell it, and it'll irritate your throat, or you
Right.
could put it in the water mode where it just goes out through that little hose
Uh-huh.
into the porous stone, and you set that in water, and it
Yeah. Well, yeah, ours would be in the water also. It's through the I don't know, the pipes, the filtration system. Well, the reason I asked is because we have had issues. We're on our 3rd ozone reader, and they never seem to be very accurate. They seem to kind of just jump all over the board. But the state
huh.
of Washington has a lot of regulations on testing and recording the ozone levels before each person floats.
Wow.
Yeah, and there
Seems like a lot
it's
of work to
yeah, so the meter I was just wondering if I was like, "Oh, somebody has one. Maybe you have a reader if you had a specific one you liked," because yeah, we're just having and also, like, how do you know if it's properly calibrated?
I don't know. I mean, I think that the ozone may be slightly corrosive because you can see that the metal, it's like a little brass tubing that comes out that the plastic tubing slides over, like a piece of metal tubing, the plastic tubing slides over that. That's a little discolored, I think, due to some oxidation or corrosion
Okay.
because of the O3. But yeah, we love the O3. It smells nice, cleans
Mhm.
and purifies, and we use it for our we have a thing that attaches to the washing machine, and so we run it on cold water. It runs the cold water through the little ozone machine, ozonates the water, and that's what
Mhm.
it uses to wash the clothes, so you don't have to use detergent and all
Detergent.
that kind of stuff. So big believer in that. That's a great way to sanitize the water. So that's awesome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it does. So, we haven't had any issues with really needing to change the water other than we had a flood and the building was under construction again. So, we've had 3 constructions now,
Oh wow.
and then we had to drain it because we were out for 2 months, but so that was exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like a huge effort. So I'm glad you guys don't have to swap that out like on a super routine basis. Or we go to a place that has a cold plunge, and the cold plunge, I really enjoy that. And they have to change the water fairly frequently. I think they do it like once a week or something like that. But there's no salt or anything in there. It does have a filter, and it does have a
Mhm.
pump that runs it through, and it has ozone and all that stuff, but the owner really likes to get that water changed out. There's been a couple of times I've gone in to do a plunge, and he's like, "Oh man, I just started draining it like 5 minutes ago." It's like, well, stop draining it.
Right, right,
I want to get in there and plunge real quick, like
right,
because it takes hours for it to cool
right,
down again. So if you put normal tap water in there, it's not going to be cold for
right.
8 hours. So
Yeah.
yeah, do you have any other? You said you had the sauna and you had the float. You guys do plunge at all or no?
No, no, we've got the Sound, we've got Lake Washington, people can go swim in that, it's right down the street.
If you want to call plunge, it's right over there for you.
It is, it's like a couple blocks that way.
So the sauna, who do you recommend to do that, and for how does it help the human body when you go do sauna?
It's infrared, so I like infrared, it's not as intense as a standard sauna, a standard, like, Russian or Scandinavian sauna is, like, 180 to sometimes 220 degrees.
Excuse me?
Yeah, they have to wear those little, like, wool felt hats to like protect your brain. It's not just, I always thought it was because it makes them sweat
Wow.
more. No, it's to protect their brain because it's too hot for brain cells.
Yeah, then you probably shouldn't be in there. My God, that's ridiculous.
So I go to some of those places. I like the places, where it's like they have all the different things, you can cycle between all the different kinds of steam rooms and saunas and plunges and all of that. And more just like an open kind of system as opposed to reservations like ours is. And I just feel like I'm going to die when I go in a real sauna. And that sounds really extreme, but I actually do. After about
That's
5
yeah.
minutes, I love it for 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden I get panicky, and I'm like, "I actually might die. Maybe this is it." So
Yeah, if you feel like you're overheating, that's not a
uh-huh.
comfortable.
Yeah. I've only lived in northern places. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I'm too hot. And and so the infrared is great because it's only 130 degrees at most, and it doesn't
Okay,
even feel that hot. The air doesn't feel 130 degrees because the infrared rays actually are smaller than standard heat waves, so they can penetrate through your skin and actually reach your muscles first. So they can reach the deeper tissue layers before the air.
okay,
So your muscles are going to be hotter than the air is. So you can be in
okay,
there
that makes
longer.
sense.
Yeah. And it helps stimulate ATP. So it's really good for athletes love infrared because of that. It's really good for muscle recovery, for soreness, sweating. People, detox is like the big buzzword that everybody always wants to say. There's not a lot of science behind saying the word detox. So I don't typically promote that word. However, in the way in which I know people are thinking of it, they use our sauna for their detoxes or whatever.
So you thinking like getting impurities out through the body through like sweat or something, or what? How does that?
I don't feel that there's enough science for me to make any claims like that, but that's what I think that when they come in and they'll be like, I'm going to book every day for the next month. I'm going to get the unlimited membership because I'm doing a detox. I think that's what I think,
That's their thinking. Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. They just come in, do it for a month, and they're like, okay, that was great. I couldn't do that. If I start liking something, like when we signed up for the membership at the cryo place, I
hmm
got addicted to the plunge. Like I'm addicted to it. If I came in and did the
hmm
sauna, I would probably get addicted to that. And I couldn't just come in for a month and then stop doing it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people will start out with like we have 3 different membership options. And so like in the winter, a lot of people do the unlimited and then they lower it to like maybe the 1 a month plan for the summer. So yeah, there's like a 1 a month, a 5 a month, and then an unlimited. So I think people kind of mix it up. But usually once they've started a sauna membership, or if they're not sure if they'll get in on a regular routine, they travel a lot for work or whatever, they might get a package instead, which isn't as good of a deal, a discount. But if you're
Right.
not sure if you're going to get in regularly, the package doesn't expire. It's like once
No, that's
people
good.
start that, they tend to renew those kinds of things because it becomes their routine. It becomes their
Yeah, for
lifestyle.
sure. You get in the habit and your body kind of craves it. I know when I was first looking at doing, I think I hurt my back or something like that, and I was like, man, I need to do something. Maybe I try that cryo, the liquid nitrogen or whatever, and whatever it is that they spray in the booth. And it's like, I'll try that. And I went in there. It's like, oh, we can. I'm good friends with the owner now, but it's funny because I distinctly remember going in there and talking to the owner, and he's like, well, you can do this, buy a package for like 4 freezes, or you can do the membership, and it's about the same cost. I was like, oh man, I'm never going to use those 5 freezes. I'll probably come in, 2, 3 times or something like that, and I won't come in for another 12 months.
Right.
I blew through those in the first week, and I was like, "Dang it, I need to get the membership. Can you sign me up
Yeah.
for that, please?"
Yeah, we have the introductory package too that they can only get on your very first visit, which is like it's a 3-pack, but it's essentially like one of them is $5 for the 3-pack, if that makes sense. So most people would sign up for the 3-pack on their first time and then decide from there what they're going to do.
Okay. So what different types do you I know some of the other places will stagger their membership based on what the member has access to. How do y'all do your packages?
We only have the one sauna. So as of right now, I mean, we're pretty busy in the winter, but we're not to the level where it's really come up that people have not been able to get in when they wanted to. Maybe they can't get the exact time they want, but they should be able to get in within a day or two of when they were thinking. Most of
Right.
the time, weekdays, you can almost always call and get in same day. Saturdays and Sundays, maybe not so much. This past Sunday, I worked front desk and it was nonstop back to back with like 5 minutes turnover the whole day. There wasn't, I
Wow.
turned down 3 phone calls that wanted to get in. I was like, we don't have any space.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like pushing people closer and closer together. And I'm like, I would have, because we have like an ice bucket with washcloths and apple cider vinegar and like metal water bottles with cold filtered water and like orange slices. Then we put in the changing area so that people can kind of cool down and get, and refresh. And so I had like all these buckets like ready to go and like the laundry basket and the gloves and the sanitizer. So like someone would come out and I'd just like run in really quick and change it over and set it
Wow.
up in like a minute. I'm like, there's no way I
Almost
can
like
go any
you're
faster.
yeah, it's like a race car coming in for a pit
Uh-huh.
stop real quick. You got to get those 4 tires changed in like less than 10 seconds and then they're off to the races again. That's crazy.
That's how I felt on Sunday. It was kind of fun though. I like working with a hustle. So I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of fun. And I think I thought it was fun because I'm the owner. So I did math. That's always fun when you're that busy.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It helps the day go by faster.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about some of the different services you guys offer. What kind of technology do you use in your particular field, like either in the rooms or for your business or getting clients, or what technology just in general across the board for your business?
So I've streamlined a lot. When I started, I had to have a lot of different apps because not as many did as many features as they do now.
Right.
So it's come such a long ways in the past 14 years. That we use a program called Jane, and that is for our online calendar. It's for our billing. It's for like they reserve it online. They save their credit card on file. I can bill. We don't bill health insurance anymore. That's a whole nightmare. That's a whole like 3-hour podcast that you don't even care to listen to because it's going to frustrate you.
You see, you said healthcare. I knew it would be frustrating.
Yeah, we're just not gonna do that ever again. But we do bill car insurance, their PIP insurance if someone has a car accident. So Jane can do that for us. It does everything. As far as like the appointments, I can run so many reports. I can see each therapist, their return visit ratio. I can run reports and see which client hasn't come in for 3 months, and we can auto send them all like a reminder email, stuff like that. I mean, it can sync with
That's
MailChimp or
fantastic. I
yeah, it can
love
sync
that.
with like MailChimp and Constant Contact and so when people sign up, then their email automatically goes into that. So it's a really fantastic program. The reason I got it though is because our chart notes are on it and I like to draw pictures. Massage therapy chart notes are a little different because I can just have a picture of the body with symbols on it. And so I was using my iPad and a PDF editor and drawing my charts and then just saving them to a Google Drive. And that's what I did for years. And it was kind of a pain because then I had to like look up every person. And the Jane system, their charting section of the program actually lets you use your finger or a pencil or whatever. And so I can either type or draw my chart notes. So that's actually why I switched to them. And then all these other features have happened since I started with them.
Okay. You said Jane is in Jane,
Yeah,
correct?
like the woman's name. Yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Cool. I'm looking at it right now. So that other brand that we do work for, they use Zenoti, and
Okay.
we're
Yeah.
here because we provide a lot of the support. I mean, we can't
Mhm.
obviously get into the behind the scenes on Zenoti to troubleshoot things there, but they call us and they're like, "Oh, Zenoti's not working for this, or this is
Mhm.
not working for that." It's constantly like that platform is just a nightmare. So I'm glad to hear that you guys use something else and you actually like it, because if
Oh,
you
I love
ask
it.
the owners of these massage places, they would tell you they're not a fan.
Oh, no, I love this because that's how I can calculate the therapist's pay too. I used to have a spreadsheet and it was really complicated, but they have a report where all I have to do is put in each therapist's pay and then I can just run the report with the time date and it calculates like based on how many massage hours they had, what their compensation is
Huh,
for
okay.
payroll. It's fantastic. Yeah, and it syncs with QuickBooks. So we use QuickBooks. And my bookkeeper has access to that and my CPA both have access to that. So
That's awesome.
they both take care of what they need to take care of on that. And I just kind of go in and recategorize expenses,
Well, that's good.
basically.
Then that means they have an API then to be able to connect back and forth like that. So
Yes. Yeah.
So speaking of APIs and everything, I like all that interconnection. I like to hear that you guys actually enjoy using the system that you have. A lot of people, will use a system, but they're not thoroughly happy with it. But it's either the best in their field, and you see in certain very specific verticals that they may have applications that are specific to those verticals, but a lot of times they're not great just
Mm-hmm.
because there's so few competitors in that field.
Right.
But they could be mediocre and they're still like a 9 out of 10 based on what's available. Not a 9
Uh-huh.
out of 10 realistically, but from what's available, they're the 9
Right.
out of 10. So glad to hear
Yeah.
you guys like that.
So I started with them in 2017 or 18. I switched from my PDF editor app, and then I had like 8 programs at that point in time. And I was able to combine like 4 or 5 of them with this. And it's a Canadian company. And it was started by a massage therapist who also owns 3 yoga studios. And so it
Even
was
better.
really kind of tailored to massage therapy specific needs. And then since then they've grown, and now I'm like my chiropractor and my dentist now use it also.
That's awesome.
And I know a naturopath. Yeah, I know they've now expanded to adding a lot of other features that are for like more wellness types. Like they even do video therapy sessions for
Okay.
those for the talk kind of therapy.
Right.
So yeah, it's grown quite a bit in just the years I've been in it. And like if you call them, I don't know if it's because they're Canadian or what, but if you call them, they pick up the phone. It's really weird. It blows my mind every time.
Yeah. It's
Like
like, oh, I'm
someone
talking
picks
to
up
an
the
actual
phone. I'm like,
human.
whoa, I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that.
There's been customer service has really kind of tanked at a lot of different companies recently. We have a company we used to use for faxing for a lot of our clients
Hmm.
called Metrofax, and we had to we have a recurring charge on like 2 of our cards that we don't use them anymore, but yet we're still getting charged for some phone number on some account somewhere, and we're trying to dig
Oh,
into it. We used to be able to just send them the credit card information, like talk to them over the phone, give them the credit card. They could look it up on the back end of their billing system and tie it to the account that it was for. Oh, it's for this account. It's like, oh, okay, well there we go. We don't need that anymore. Go ahead and cancel it. But they stopped phone support altogether.
oh
All it
man.
is email or chat. That's it.
That's where we got rid of our old not online scheduling, but our internal like our schedules. We had a
Hmm.
different system, and they like it was 3-4 days before their little question, or I mean conversation bubble in the corner finally replied to me, and it's like, no, I had to run payroll. It was due. I needed to figure this out 4 days ago.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the reasons. Yeah, so we also the other tech we use is for our schedules, figuring out our schedules and our time off and all of that. And we've tried 4 different ones now, just to the point where I just don't feel like switching. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's the best out of those 4. But
What is it?
Sling, it has a lot of glitches on the phone, but on the computer it works really well. And I like quite a bit of it. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's significantly better than the other ones we tried. And it's just, I'm sure, I mean, if I kept searching, I might be able to find one better, but it's such a hassle to mess with our scheduling system that I don't want to deal with it again.
So Sling, SLING.
Yeah, it's like blue, I don't
Yep.
know, slash lines.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's looks like the UI is fairly easy to use. So
It
that's
is. Yeah, it's
good
pretty
plus.
simple. It's not as detailed or fancy as some of the other systems we tried, but those didn't really work. This one, it does all the things we wanted it to do. We can duplicate. Like I didn't want to have to put in the other ones seem to be more for, I don't know, like you know how a cafe with like high school or college workers, like every week's a different schedule.
Yep.
We don't do that. Our people are always the same schedule. Like I'm always Fridays from 10 to 4 forever, and so that's what we needed, and I wanted it to duplicate out for like a year and have all the same information, because we can assign tasks per shift. And some of those other ones, like you had to rebuild each week, and that's a really big pain. So
Yeah. If it's the same thing every week, why would I have to rebuild it? That should be like a copy and paste kind of thing.
right, or you can just click on it and just sit like in your normal calendar on your computer or
Hmm.
your phone, how you just says like
Repeat.
repeat. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what you can do with Sling. And I feel like that's such a basic feature that I was so frustrated that so many other companies don't do, that it didn't make any sense to me. And I'm like, why in the world would I make a totally new schedule every week? Like I'm going to forget something.
Hmm.
Because then it's like
That's a lot of
somebody,
extra work.
yeah, someone would like request off and then I rebuild the schedule. Well, I forgot that they requested that day off, you know? But if it's already pre-planned for the next 6 months or whatever, they request it off, it automatically blocks it off. Easy peasy. And
Nice.
it syncs with Gusto, our other software that we use, which is for payroll.
Okay.
And that's
So it
also for
connects all the
HR.
different ones together.
Yeah,
Nice.
Gusto's pretty, again, I tried some other ones and then my bookkeeper was like, she actually begged me to switch to Gusto. She was just like, please use Gusto. I can't handle these other ones.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it gets annoying when you're trying to deal with these systems, like you said, that are lacking features in certain areas that you feel like they really should have. That's not helpful. I mean, running a business is difficult enough as it is. You need systems that work for you and do the things you need them to do.
Yeah.
So, with all these systems that you have in place, you kind of found best of breed, if you will,
Hmm.
that works well for you. If you could wave a magic wand, and this is getting more into the AI side of things, if you could wave
Hmm.
a magic wand and make these systems and or integrate them using AI or some kind of automation, what would you want it to do, and how would that save you time or energy in your day-to-day business?
They actually ask me this all the time. That's the other reason all three of these companies are really good. And they call, or Gusto came here from like out of town. And I think they flew in from San Francisco and they met with me for a whole day and they followed how we used their program and what we wanted with it. And
That's really good.
so I am prepared with this question because I've answered it a few times and things have already changed since then. And that is, if I could, as far as AI goes, if they can't all be the same program, then I would want them to talk to each other. So for example, if our schedule could automatically sync with the online calendar so that I don't have to go through and be like, because the online calendar can, repeat or whatever, but then it's again like time off requests or something. And if I have to like really be on top, and everybody has the app also so they can be on top of double checking on their schedule on their end too. But
Hmm.
it's like, did the time off did the shift that they requested off, did it get blocked off of the online calendar so that clients don't schedule on it? And
Right.
it sounds easier than it is, but it can be pretty easy to overlook, to approve it in this app and forget to put a block over it in this app. So if that could somehow do it automatically, that'd be way easier. Like if I approve the time off request here, the schedule here just makes it so it's not available to the clients to book online. That would be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a pretty simple and straightforward automation to put in place that would save you a lot of time and then not having to think about it. You're just like, I just look in one place.
Hmm.
That's this calendar, which would be Sling, I guess, right?
I mean the Jane calendar, because yeah, either one, it doesn't really matter. I mean the Jane calendar is the one we probably look at the most because that's what tells us what's happening for our day as far as client
Right.
schedule. But
But you approve, I assume the approval for the time off and everything
oh
that
yeah,
occurs in Sling. So
yes, yeah,
you would go in there and use, okay, Bill wants off next Friday. Cool, approved. Now that time off, once it's approved by you, then gets marked on the Jane side as Bill is off that day, so nobody can
definitely.
book him.
That's what I want. That would be it would take a huge stress off of me because it hasn't happened all that much, but 3 or 4 times. I mean, in a couple years, that's good, but 3 or 4 times it's been, I mean, honestly, it's just been embarrassing and kind of
Yep.
a scramble because it's like, I forgot they weren't coming in today and they have a client waiting for them.
Yeah.
And the worst
That's
that can
not a
happen
great.
is, yeah, the worst, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You apologize profusely and give them free stuff, free saunas, free floats, whatever. But
Yep.
I don't want that to happen anymore. It doesn't
No, I,
usually.
I agree with you. It's a lot easier to fix it on the front end than it is to have to apologize to the client and,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, sir, it'll never happen again, blah, blah, blah. You get a lot going on when you're the owner and you're juggling, you got to make sure payroll gets run. You got to make sure that scheduling is set up correctly. And now you have to mirror these over
Right.
onto the other side. That gets to be a lot.
Yeah.
I could definitely appreciate the struggle and the need for automation. What other automations would you envision?
So a big one that I would love to have is, you know how I said there's 3 different ways people get paid?
Hmm.
The tip I can estimate, but I don't know exactly how much they're going to get. I mean, obviously every client decides what they feel like tipping, if at all. I don't typically get tipped for a lot of reasons, but because I ask for other things in exchange. I ask for reviews and referrals.
Yeah, that makes sense. Reviews and referrals are valuable. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather get them to refer to 5 people than give me
Yeah.
$40 or $50 or whatever on tip. That's more valuable.
Yeah.
You
But
build another
I
repeat
mean,
client,
obviously the employees aren't going to do that, but
right?
for me, I'm always like, if you want to show gratuity for me, please send a friend and write some reviews. That always seems to work better. So anyways, that's a side note. I'm getting distracted. But when making the schedule, I used to have an office manager make the schedule for me. And this is actually fairly recent, just in the past 2 months, that she's had to step away for family reasons. And so I retook that over. And the one thing that her and I always struggled with when she was doing it was she would build this beautiful schedule and everybody was happy. They all got the hours they wanted, as many hours as they wanted. And I would look at it and be like, oh my God, we're going to lose money that day because, this person was, the day was really long and this person worked this many hours and this person worked this many hours and we had front desk all day. And it's like, anyways, there's a lot of reasons. And so what I would like in Sling, you can put in your estimated revenue for the day, and then at the end of the day you can put in what it actually was, and it will tell you like what the cost of labor was, and it'll tell you like, was the day red or black, basically, and
Mhm.
but it only tells you what they're hourly. It doesn't add in the massage amount. So in Sling, I can figure out their hourly rate. And then in Jane, I can figure out their massage rate because that's Jane is where the appointments are. And it would be really, really helpful if I could, because I know the estimated based on the length of time and what day it is. I mean, if it's a Friday or Saturday versus a Tuesday or Wednesday, I pretty
Right.
much know what to expect approximately. And if I could have one system that pulls both of those pieces of information and tells me like, if you have this schedule for the day, this is going to be profitable or not profitable based on how it's staffed. Does that make sense?
Right, because it's taking into account the massages that are happening that day, which I'm guessing the Sling doesn't take that into account, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I can put in my estimate on what we think, but I mean, yeah, exactly. Like it would say the real total, but also the massage therapists pay per massage. Because right now I have a spreadsheet where I just pull the reports and combine them and then put that manually into Gusto. Like the hours that they clock in and clock out on their phone in Sling get automatically pushed to Gusto, but the massage hours I have to put into the spreadsheet. It calculates that, and then I put that into Gusto in like another category. It's
Okay,
like the hourly pay and then like the commission pay is what we consider it.
got it. Got it based on the time
Yeah,
they're
and then
actually doing massages.
yeah, so if I could, I guess it would be like, I mean, I know just by looking at the calendar, I can just look at it and be like, we're not going to make money that day. We have to move this person around. We have to shorten the day and get one front desk and 3 rooms booked, as opposed to like one therapist up here and one therapist down here and front desk all day. It's like, no, no, no. They're both going to be here.
Yeah,
And so I can look at it and say that. But if someone else were to ever again be assisting me in building out schedules like that, it would be easier for me to explain to them if they could look at a report and be like, okay, here's my parameters. I was told to make sure I don't schedule outside of this budget or whatever.
right. No, that makes sense because in the end, what are you running this business for? To lose money or to make money? I mean, yeah, you
Right.
you like to help people. Obviously, it brings you joy to give the massage and the person feels better afterwards. But you have to have money in order to run your business. If you're not profitable and you have too many of those days, then you're going in the wrong direction. So totally
Right.
get that.
Yeah.
Those are all great. All that stuff that you just described is a great way to leverage technology to make your
Hmm.
job easier and make you guys more profitable. I think those are all good ideas. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to schedule a follow-up call and kind of dig into that a little bit more, I'd like to actually see the systems and see how they all interact. But that's brings
Right.
me joy is to hear these challenges and frustrations in varying degrees. Some are more annoying than others, obviously.
Right.
But then to be able to connect these systems together and implement a solution, it's like, oh man, you shaved off, I don't know, 4 hours out of my work every week. It auto
Oh,
creates the
yeah.
schedule and optimizes it for profitability.
Yes.
It translates all that information over into Gusto, all that kind of stuff. Everything that you were just describing. I'm
It
sure it
literally
can
would be
do it.
about 4 hours. It really would be.
Yeah, and if you'd shave that off every week, that's 4 hours you can either work on
Take a
getting more
nap.
clients in the door, or 4 hours that you could spend with family,
Take a
or
nap.
take a nap. I mean, that's yeah, if you're only getting 3 hours of sleep every night, that's 4 extra hours of sleep throughout the week. Yeah, it's crazy, but yes, that's what I like to do. I like, whether it's on the AI side of things or whether it's on the IT side of things, coming in, a client's like, "Oh, it's our internet's always going out," or "Our wireless is so slow," or "Our computers never work right." Hearing that kind of stuff and being able to come in and put solutions into place that make their job easier. And it's never going to be foolproof. I mean, you give somebody a massage, they're going to feel good for a period of time, right? But then they're going to come back because the muscle's sore again, or they hurt
Mhm.
themselves, or whatever. Or maybe
Mhm.
they just like having a 2 hour conversation with you, whatever the case may be, they're going to come back. And that's fine. But with technology, just trying to eliminate as much of the routine frustration as possible,
Mhm.
to where, yeah, things happen, but it's been very minimalized. Like, yeah, the internet goes out, once every couple of months. We have a backup, internet that kicks in automatically, so we don't lose phones and credit card processing and all that stuff.
Oh, that's
So putting
good.
all those things in place, that's what brings me joy, is
Mhm.
clients that go from very frustrated to very little frustration. They can focus on running their business and making more money.
I wouldn't say I'm very frustrated. It's just that would be more ideal.
Yeah, absolutely. More ideal. Less manual work and more automation.
Totally. That's what I would want. And then Sling, back to the technology, what we use, Sling also has a communication that's our like internal communication as far as like
Messaging.
messages, group chats, and then there's like a news feed and there's like different pages to it based on your role, and people can host kind of like a daily journal of like their shift. That's not really for the therapist. That's mostly for the front desk. It's like, at the end of your shift, be like, so and so's, just there's things that you kind of need to transfer the information to the next shift. Like, this person's in the process of booking 3 trifectas and buying 10 gift certificates, and they had to call me back and blah blah blah, just so that when that person calls
The
back, the
handoff.
next yeah,
Yeah.
the exact, yes,
Yep.
that's the better word. Yeah. I just call it the shift journal, but it's like a blurb. Sometimes it's a sentence, sometimes it's 2 paragraphs. But yeah, so that's all like recorded in Sling, and Gusto now very recently does the internal schedule and time off requests. However, I'm not going to switch because of the messaging of Sling, because if I were to switch the one aspect to Gusto, I would have to get a different app for communication.
Right.
So we're not just searching through personal texts and personal emails, just because that can get lost, and also just a work-life balance difference. But yeah, it's really the pricing. The pricing on other message-only systems is actually more than the whole entire package of the other one that we're using.
Yikes. What are you guys, for your work email, do you use Microsoft 365, or do you use Google Workspace, or what do you use?
They don't need they don't need a I mean, they don't talk to the clients outside of work. There's like HIPAA and all that. So they just use their personal emails, because both of those systems, Gusto and Sling, require their personal emails on file so that they can forever go check their old timesheets and their old pay stubs.
Yep, that makes sense.
And then as far as the online calendar, that goes to just the front desk's email, because
Okay.
because that way we get a little like, jumping icon with a noise so we can hear, oh, somebody booked, and see when it's happening, but also so they don't get like 30 messages a day on their private email. But
Yep.
my email is just from my website.
You should make it play the little cha-ching noise every time somebody books a new appointment. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
That's funny. I didn't.
Yeah. Good. Well, I really enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed hearing more about basically your growth journey over the past couple of years, and some of those frustrations, through COVID and all that kind of stuff, and how you've overcome that, and how you guys have continued to grow. And now you've added a new massage room, and now you're looking for additional therapists. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's great. Sounds like you're off to great growth trajectory, and you've finally found some decent systems that you can use, that maybe they have little quirks here and there, but for the most
Right.
part, they work for you guys. And that's
Right.
awesome too. Hopefully, like I said, I'll connect with you afterwards, and maybe we can have a follow-up conversation about the automation stuff. I think it'd be a good opportunity for you guys to shave off some work time and get more free time and more
Yeah.
automation and less manual process. I appreciate your time today. I know
Yeah.
everyone's time is valuable, and thank you very much for joining me today
Oh, yeah.
on our podcast.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, take care.
You too.